This is my 2018 M4 and we're going to be modifying it straight away with these parts here. I'm Jack, and over the next few weeks we're going to be introducing all of these new parts onto the car and taking you along for the ride. So we've got all different parts to put on the car. We've got Vorsteiner, Adro, Valvetronic, all different parts that we're going to be adding onto the car over the next few weeks. So now that I've finally got my M4, after years of looking for the perfect option, all the specs I'm looking for, all the additions, now we can finally start modifying it the way that I want it to. So here in Australia, we have something called P plates. 18-year-olds through to 22-year-olds have to drive with these plates on their cars, and they're only allowed to have a certain amount of power in that car. The M4 in Victoria does not fall under that category. It has too much power for a P plater, so it's illegal for them to drive. Now that I've gotten past my P plates and I'm on my full license, I can finally have one. And after years of checking every week, every day for cars for sale, looking for the perfect one and waiting to have enough money to be able to purchase one, I've finally been able to pick one up, and now I'm ready to share the experience with you. So you might be wondering, why did I choose the M4 and what parts am I going to put on it? Well, over the past few years while I've been dreaming of buying one, I've been planning, looking at all different options, all sources, companies and everything, looking for the right options for this car. So I'm going to take you along the journey, showing you all the parts I've chosen and sharing them how you can use them if you choose to build your dream car as well. So before we start putting the pieces on the car and getting this show on the road, let me show you some of the most important specs on this car that it had to have for it to be the perfect one for me. So the first thing that the car had to have is the carbon fiber roof. If you're not getting a carbon roof on the F80 series, I don't know what you're doing. The option of a sunroof, it just doesn't match the car well. As you can see, the car is very sleek. Having the carbon roof just matches the silhouette and the build of the car perfectly. If you're looking for a sunroof on the car, you might as well choose a Mercedes because they have much better sunroofs and they match the cars better. So the second thing that the car had to have is here in the interior. So you can see here on the interior, on the steering wheel, we've got this M Performance stitching, really cool feature that the M4s and BMW include in their cars. Secondly, we've got the M Performance stitching here on the seat belts. Another cool feature. The third thing this car had to have for me is the LCI update. This comes with the black grills, which I love much more than the chrome. We've got here on the sides of the cars, the M4 logo in black rather than the chrome again. Another option that the M4 had to have for me is definitely the carbon fiber trim on the interior. As you can see here along the dash and down at the gear selector panel, we've got carbon fiber. Now, I'm not saying that the other options are bad options, whether it's the piano black option or one of the other options, but in my opinion, the carbon fiber suits this car perfectly. It's a performance sports car, it's not a luxury car. If you want the piano finish or anything like that, go buy a 5 Series where you're looking at more luxury and much more comfort. The last thing that this car had to have for me, which definitely makes the user experience much better, is the Navi Professional system. So you can see on the car here, we have the tile setup for the infotainment system. Now with the tile setup, this is the second option of the car. The original M4s from the 2014 to 2017 life cycle had the original infotainment system. This sort of had it more sectioned off in one big system. Now with these tiles, there's an option that BMW can give you where you can download software, and this gives you CarPlay for your car. So you can see right here, I've done this. So now I have CarPlay on the car. Clicking on it, you can see I have the regular CarPlay, which any new car nowadays has. Before we start installing all these parts on the car, which I'm looking very much forward to, let's take the car on the first drive so you can experience it with me, what it's like to let loose in an M4. So now that we're driving, one more feature that I love on this car is on the infotainment screen. You have here, I know you can't see because it's probably blurring a bit, but you have the horsepower and the torque meters. So this will tell you how much power you make, how much torque you're pulling when you take off and all of that. I think it's a really cool and awesome idea that BMW's come with, just to make the car a bit more sporty. The car's warmed up now and we can take it on the first drive. Now the first thing that I've noticed in this car is the efficient mode is incredibly smooth. You're quiet, so you can't really be heard, you know, you're not making too much noise, but the car still has the power. The car's warmed up now, so I don't have to worry about, you know, feathering the pedal or anything, but if I get onto a main road and you can accelerate, see, that's in efficient mode, so it's not making crazy noise, but it still pulls just as quick. One thing I have realized in this car is when the valves are closed, if you're sitting around 5th gear and I open the window, if you're sitting in around 5th gear and then you accelerate slowly, I don't know if that comes through on camera, but you hear a little bit of either turbo flutter or the air intake squeaking a bit, and it just sounds really cool. You know, it's a really cool thing that you can get. So it's not always just, you know, noise and burbles from this sports exhaust with the valves open, but you can also get some pretty neat other noises in the car when you have the valves closed, you know. And it's not even accelerating quickly. You can stay in the speed limit, you know, just a soft acceleration in a higher gear, and you hear the turbos start to spool, and then if you do it right, you can let off the accelerator and then you hear them flutter at the end as you slow down. Really cool and neat feature. Right now, if I put the car in M1, which I've set up to be sport mode with the Sport Plus suspension and steering, still automatic transmission, because once again, I think this transmission's amazing, the M Performance DCT. Oh, it's a bit bumpy. Amazing transmission, revs really well, changes gear really well, and as you can hear with the valves open, you can start to hear a bit more engine noise. Now, one thing on this car, which you have to do find a little bit frustrating, is the suspension is a little bit stiff, and in Melbourne, if you're from here, you'll know the roads are pretty average, so you can definitely feel every bump you go over, every pothole, every crack in the road. Not fun to drive over. But that being said, beggars can't be choosers. I am driving an M4. So not much else to complain about. All right, I'm at a red light now, about to do a U-turn where we have a little bit of open space so we can see how the car goes straight line. Driving this car just puts a smile on my face. It handles so well through the corners, through the turns. The exhaust note sounds so good. You know, all right, yeah, I'll chuck it in M2 mode now. So now we've got it manual gearbox. We've got the Sports Plus, everything. It's just so fun to drive this car. Once you drive one, you never want to drive anything else. Listen to the exhaust. Like, some people think, let me just go a bit slower so you can hear me, but some people think that this engine, the S55, that it doesn't sound too good. And in my opinion, coming from, you know, driving a non-sports car, just a regular, you know, Golf, just gets you from point A to point B, nothing special, no fancy engine, no modifications. Coming into this car, I think that the engine sounds incredible, especially once the car's warmed up properly. You lose a lot of the rasp from the colder exhaust, where it sounds more like a trumpet. That's probably where people are saying that the engine doesn't sound very good. But once you have it warmed up, you know, you got the burbles coming in. You've got a deeper pitch on the exhaust, and the cabin sound is incredible for this car. I think that, you know, it's not going to sound like a V8 or, you know, anything exotic, but if you just listen, like listen. Like, this exhaust is definitely not something to be ashamed of. It's fun. It can be loud when you want it to. It can be quiet when you want it to. It burbles. You can hear turbo flutter. There's nothing to complain about now. Again, I am going to be upgrading to Valvetronic because I do want it louder. I love exhausts, love the sound of a good exhaust. And we'll see how that sounds on the car. Now let's do a little pull with it in manual. This car just takes off, so much power. You know, compared to cars nowadays, yes, it doesn't have the most power out of any car. It's about 430 horsepower, which is plenty. And you can definitely feel it when you take off. Like, you just look. The car just drives so well. You know, you have yes, it's twin turbos, so there's a little bit less turbo lag, but I do feel in this car, when you're around about the 1,000 to 3,000 RPM mark, you sort of don't feel it as much, but then once you hit the 3,000, it just takes off. It just takes off, and you can feel that boost kicking in, and it just gets to the speed limit very quickly, I'll say. Now, the plans I have for this car. So like I said earlier in the video, I've been looking for an M4 for so long. It's my dream car. I love the F82. I think that it looks amazing. The coupe styling, it just flows so well on this car. I think BMW did a really good job in this car. That being said though, one of the things I did eventually decide to do when looking for this car was it had to be an LCI model. So being an LCI, yes, there's not much to change. Different tail lights, different headlights, which are amazing lights. The halo daytime running lights, amazing lights. They look amazing. That's why you see everyone that has one of these cars buys aftermarket, replaces their original lights with the icons, and they look amazing. The infotainment system, another important thing in this car. You know, you have the tiles from the Navi Pro setup, allows you to get CarPlay, a bit more creature comfort, you know, just the standard things that everyone wants in their car nowadays. And then it comes to rims. Obviously, we've got the new styling for the LCI update. I like these rims, really cool wheels on the car. The original wheels on the car, I wasn't the biggest fan of them. They're like more of a 5-spoke. I'm not the biggest 5-spoke fan, but even though we didn't have them at the shop, there are new wheels coming for the car. I have a set, they're on order, got them through Mode here in Australia. They're made to order. So just because of the Christmas period and Black Friday and all of that, unfortunately, they're a bit backlogged with a lot of orders coming in. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit more of a wait for that. But once I get them, I'll make sure I'm going to be showing everyone and having a look at what we've got. All right. Now that we're back in the shop and the car's cooled down a bit, it's time to get these parts on the car. First, we're going to start with the carbon fiber mirror caps. Really simple to install. So what you're going to want to do, get a pry tool, and we're going to have to pull the original plastic housing off of the mirror, and then we just stick this one on nice and easy. There, nice and easy off the car. And now we got the carbon fiber cap to go on nice and easy instead. And there we have it, the first piece of carbon fiber installed on the M4. Look at that, perfect fitment, just like factory, nice and easy to install. All right, we've got both sides done now, both mirror caps connected up, looking good, and now onto the next piece. So next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the carbon fiber side skirts, and we're gonna stick these on along the side of the car. To make this easier, we're gonna jack the car up on one side, and while we're doing that, it'll make it easier to reach the front. And then after that, because we've already got it in the air, it'll be easier to put the front splitter on. So let's do it. Now I thought we were gonna be able to jack it up from the front and make it nice and easy to get in the air. But if you look at the jack coming under, you can see that it is going to hit right there. So what we're gonna have to do is jack it up from the sides. Probably see over here, I have a couple of bricks on the ground. I'm gonna put these under the tires, give it some extra clearance, and then we can get it all done. Let's go. Here are my bricks. I'm gonna chuck these underneath the wheel, just like this, and then should be able to drop it down slowly, and there we go. Now, much more space. Let's go. And there we go. Side one, done. Let's get on to the other side. All right, we've got the side skirts done. As you can see here, looking amazing. Look at that, not poking out too much, flush with the body, going right along the body, and then finishing right here, flush with the start of the fender, the rear fender. So now that we've finished this, we can move on to the front section here. We have our Agro splitter, very good looking, along with the M Performance side ducts. All right, front setup now. Got a bit of 3M on the back of these. Time to install these and see how the splitter looks. So there we go. Before bolting these in, we can get a look at what these look like on the car. And if I say so, they look pretty nice. Good fitment and directly replacing with factory positions onto the splitter. All right, here we've got the big boy, big splitter, Agro splitter. All this does is slides underneath the bumper and above the factory lining or skid plates, and then there we go. That's a good. Right, get that under there. This side here. That's a good enough lock up. So here we go. You can see what the front will look like with the splitter. I know it's a bit off there, but the splitter and the air ducts cover combo, pretty good. So let me get this on now and we'll see the finished product. All right, just finished installing the front splitter. Saved you from watching me miserably put that on. It was quite a task, you know, unbolting all the factory bolts, then rebolting in between the sleeps and all of that, working with the intake covers as well. Quite a bit of a pain, but now we have the final product here. Not too bad if you ask me. Obviously a little bit of fitment issues here. We have a little gap here just between the factory lining here and then the adro lip at the bottom. Obviously probably not supposed to be used together, so I'm gonna have to work out a solution to that. The kit does come with instructions and it does tell you to drill extra screws into the bumper, so I'm probably gonna have to bring a second one in here, not just rely on the factory bolts to bring this back in. I'm gonna have to screw these a bit more in. I forgot my drill attachments, so I had to do this by hand. Not too bad, got it in there, but if you can see, there's probably a little bit of playroom there that you can move to bring it up a little bit. This side came together a lot better. Still a little bit of a gap there, but overall, from this far back, looks pretty good. Pretty tough if you ask me. Once again, aggressive. You know, you got those little slats at the front that go through, so a little bit of aerodynamic looking design. Looks pretty cool, and then when I bring it on the ground, it's gonna be low. The car's already low as it is, but then look at those bricks. The size of those bricks, probably is that 15-20 centimeters. Bring that down, this car's gonna be pretty tough. So now, one more thing to do. We are running out of time today, it's getting late, and I'm running out of battery on the camera, so we're not gonna do the spoiler today, save that for next week. But quickly, because I know it's nice and easy to do, slap on the diffuser and see how the back of this car looks. Alright guys, that is day one of the M4 build series. As you can see, we've got the front splitter on. We've got the carbon inlays there for the air coolers. We've got the M Performance side skirts right here. And then on the back, we have the Vorsteiner diffuser. Yes, it's only the middle section because good news, soon we'll be installing that Valvetronic exhaust, which means we have to take this off. So once we take this off, we can bring it back on, install the rest of the diffuser, and then alongside that, install the PDM style wing on the rear. And then the full outside will be complete for this car, alongside sounding amazing. So look forward to that. But for now, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, being the first video of the channel. I've got much more to come, many more exciting videos planned, so stay tuned. Look out for the channel. Follow us on other social medias. There'll be a list in the outro. And if you're interested in the parts that we have installed on the M4, there'll be a link in the bio to our Google Sheet, which has all the parts, the websites for sourcing, the price, so you can choose whatever you want, see where it's come from for your car if you plan. So for now, thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.